Hi, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and we are continuing on with the Get Fit series, Yoga Edition, but also the challenge. And yes, the hair is different again. I'm only gonna probably have the hair in for, I would say, until we're gonna try to hang on to it until like the 4th, and then which is when I'm planning a beach day possibly. And then after that, going back to the natural for a while until, I feel like doing more. But anyway, that's not why we're here. Again, we're doing the Get Fit With Me series, Yoga Edition. And we are at day 27 of this challenge. And let me tell you, I'm ready for this to be wrapped up. Like, I love it because it's kept me consistent. And even when I went to the gym today, yeah, it's working. I'm just going to say this. It is definitely working. So I have no complaints with the results of what I'm getting because I definitely see improvement. But your girl needs a break. a lot of yoga. Especially since yoga is not really all the way my first love. It's just what I use to keep myself together so I don't fall apart. But okay. But as I mentioned before, I'm not really filming this stuff every single day. So I did a couple of videos just on my own. Well, I did a couple of the routines on my own. So I did mindset, I believe. Yeah, I think that was the last one that I did that I didn't film. Well, no, I done 2 of them. So I did mindset. That was the one I did the day after I filmed the one for ability, which was day 25. So we did day 25, which mindset was fairly easy, low-key practice, and that was exactly what I needed. And awesome sauce was great. And then yesterday we did day 26, which was balance, and this was for a crow pose. And I'm actually quite happy that I did not film this because that was challenging for me because crow pose, I've never been able to do that even when I was in better yoga shape or in shape in general. It's just a hard thing to do. So I made the attempt and did the stretching motion for it, but as far as actually going through and going all in on it, that did not happen. But today we're at day 27, as I mentioned, and we will be doing, we're on E for energy, and we're doing the crown chakra. This one right here, the crown, which, again, I don't mean to tie things together, but I was literally talking about my hair a little bit ago, aka the crown, and we're going to be doing crown. Child, I'll be tying things together without even trying. It's like, maybe I should be a rapper. I don't know. Kidding. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm rambling a little bit. We're doing this during my lunch break. Let's get into it. Start today's practice in a seated position. And in the seated position, we are going to have our hands in a lily pose for the crown chakra. Yeah. After we are in the seated position and getting in touch with our breath, we will make a gentle twist on each side, holding it for a couple of breaths. And from there, once we do that on both sides, we are going to make our way to a tabletop position where we're going to do our cat-cows. We're going to be doing that for a couple of rounds before we make our way to our first extended child's pose. Pose, we're going to make our way to our first rabbit pose, and from there, after we hold the rabbit pose for a couple breaths, we will make our way to our first downward facing dog. We're going to be pedaling our dog out, and from there, once we do complete being in our downward facing dog position, we are going to make our right foot to the front of the mat in basically the form of a high lunge. And from the high lunge, we're going to make our way to a tree pose. From the tree pose, we're going to do a wide-legged standing forward bend, back to a lunge, back to downward facing dog. And that is going to be the sequence on one side, and then we're going to be doing that exact same sequence on the opposite side. So we're going to be doing that on each side. After we do this sequence of both sides, we're going to make our way back to a downward facing dog. And from the downward facing dog, we will make our way to an extended child's pose. We're going to be holding that for a couple of breaths before we then make our way to a kneeling pose where we basically do, and I actually show you in the video, there's more than one way of doing the camel pose. You can go all the way and extend. I wasn't quite comfortable doing that today. Mainly because I'm a little tight from a massage the other day, so I actually did do just like a variation that she also showed. From the camel pose, we're going to make our way back to a child's pose, but just more of the restorative form of a child's pose with our legs together. And then from there, we are going to make our way down to a seated position where we would then, in the form of a staff pose. And then from there, we're going to do a seated forward bend, basically stretching out and then getting us ready for the end of our practice, which will include then lying on our back and extended cobbler pose or lying cobbler pose to Shavasana, aka corpse pose. Or if you prefer to get back up, you also could end the practice in meditation pose. Hi, so that does conclude the video for today. How it rated? I would rate it, I think I'm gonna rate it 8.5. And the reason why is not because of her, but totally because of me. I could not focus. And I was not prepared for any balancing poses of any sort, clearly. I definitely was struggling when it came to the balancing poses today. There was a baby that just abruptly started crying while I was because I had my windows open so I can hear everything. And if you live in a major city, when you know, you know. If you have your windows open, you can hear all outside. And especially how where I live as set up, I literally can hear everything. It's kind of nuts. So with that being said, right when I'm doing my first pose for, tree pose, I start hearing a crying baby. I literally got completely distracted. It just could not get myself back into the practice. It was kind of driving me nuts. And then I was also getting notifications at work because, I'm doing this during my lunch break. And I'm like, what is happening? Because normally I can do this with no distractions. But I will be honest, I was very distracted today. And also, too, side note, I did mention, I think, of the last video that I reviewed for Third Eye. I was thinking, I mentioned the aura correlation. I was wrong. I got debunked real quick at the very beginning of this video. It's actually the crown chakra that's related to the purple aura theory. I think that's what it is now. So, but yeah, apparently my head stays above the clouds, apparently. At least today it does. Anyway, but besides that, it was a decent practice. It was just not quite what I was expecting, to be honest. I didn't really know what to expect, so it's kind of part of that. But it did go by fast, like it always does. It just wasn't my favorite. So yeah, 8, solid 8. And if you notice, when it comes to this YouTuber who I review, I don't think I've ever given her a low rating, ever, because she just gives what needs to be gave. So, I mean, at the end of the day, she does a very, very good job. But anyway, that concludes the video for today. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel if you get anything out of the content. It's your girl Sharon, aka the Melanin Nostalgic Runner, and I will see you next time. Bye.